All right. I'm Judge Michael Uhlarik. And before I begin, I just want to say that offer to do an internship, that's pretty phenomenal, all right? Our state rep, her energy and enthusiasm, what a great role model to have in government today, because I think government's getting a little bit beat up out there, right? But if you have an opportunity to work as an intern, I grab that, all right? So like our state rep said, government's not for everyone, but if you do have an interest, you may want to look into that, all right? So I'm Judge Michael Uhlarik, and before, how much time do I have?
We have till 11:10, so you have about 22 minutes.
All right. All right, so here's the deal. I'm a judge in Massachusetts. I'm a district court judge. I sit over in Lawrence District Court. That is, I believe it's the fourth busiest court in the Commonwealth. And before I get in to my talk, I have to deal with something that has really been bothering judges in Massachusetts. There's a controversy right now, and especially sitting in Massachusetts. But when people come up and I introduce myself, I tell them I'm Judge Uhlarik, a lot of times I get booed at. All right, and I'm not the only judge, and that's due to the fact, who's the baseball player down in New York?
Aaron Judge.
Aaron what?
Aaron Judge.
Judge, right? So because Aaron Judge, us Massachusetts judges now are really debating about maybe we need to change our title, get rid of judge, maybe go with, I don't know, Mookie? No. Boy, that joke is just fallen dead today. All right, forget about the jokes. Let's turn to something that probably you have more interest in, which would be sports. All right? All right, so by day, I'm a judge, and then during my off hours, I'm an official patch basketball referee. All right? I did it for some time. I actually gave it up a couple years ago because I decided I was getting tired of getting hassled. As a judge, I can't make everyone happy, and as a basketball referee, trust me, I can't make everyone happy. So now I've actually gone to the coaching ranks. I'm coaching over in Lawrence at Notre Dame Cristo Rey High School, the boys varsity team. But my experience as a referee, I realized mirrored a lot of what I do as a judge every day. All right, so rules, okay? We have rules in sports, right? If we didn't have rules, what would happen during a sports event? It would be crazy. It would be chaos, right? Perfect example nowadays. Anyone watch the NBA Finals? Okay. You watch the NBA, in my estimation, that's a sport in which they've taken the rule book and just thrown it out, all right? They don't call traveling. They don't call fouls, all right? They let them play, and I don't know, if you like the game of basketball like I do, it's bothersome because there's rules, and those rules are meant to make the sport, in the long run, more enjoyable to watch. So imagine if you're playing basketball, right, and they didn't follow the rules. Imagine if you're getting elbowed, you're getting kneed, you're getting bloodied. Would you like to participate in that sport? No, that's not basketball, all right? So do we have any travel basketball players in here? Man in the back? Tall guy, come on up.
We have a young lady right here.
Young lady, come on up.
We have a gentleman right here. He's a good man right over here.
All right.
How many do you need, sir?
Just two.
Oh, two. All right. You'll be on the bench. All right.
All right.
Yeah, Taryn. Yeah, Taryn.
All right. You are offense. You are defense. You stay there. Back up. All right. You're going to stay with me.
Guys, let's hear the analogy, okay?
All right. Now listen. I want Ms. Offense. She's going to dribble. Can you dribble that? Just make sure. All right. Good. I put Erin in it this morning. You are going to be dribbling a straight line. You're making a drive to the hoop. The imaginary hoop is over here. Okay? You are not going to deviate. I do not want you to fall off the stage. All right? You are going in a straight line because you have a clear lane to the hoop. All right? This rather tall, how tall are you?
6'2".
Wow, 6'3", 8th grader. Where are you playing ball next year?
High school.
Where?
Just the high school.
Well, you should look at Notre Dame Cristo Rey High School. We could maybe use a 6'3" guy, all right? So he's playing defense, all right? You've got to listen to when I tell you to get in position, okay? You can't move on your own, all right? So what's the hardest call to make in basketball? Charge, all right? Is it a charge or is it a block, all right? We've all seen it. When we see a play like that, 50% people go, oh, come on, ref, that was a block. 50% will go, ref, that was a charge, right? Depending who you're rooting for. Toughest call to make. I can tell you, I've been there. I've blown a few calls, but trust me, it's hard to make that call. All right, so we're going to have miss offense. You're just going to dribble, normal speed. You're not going to stop. You're going to all the way to the hoop, all right? Mr. Defense, you're going to move and deny her the lane when I tell you, okay? Go. All right, ready, set up. Keep going straight, keep going straight. Boom, collision, okay? Charge or block? Charge? How many say charge? How many say block? How many say block? All right, go back. All right, here we go. You're gonna do the same thing. Go. All right, now, wait, now go. Okay, what was that? Block. He was late. He didn't get position, right? All right, go back to your seats. Good job. Let's hear it for these two hoopsters. All right. All right, so that's an example of we need the rules, right, to make the sport fun. We can analogize to society, all right? We have rules, otherwise known as laws, that make our civilized society orderly, efficient, and fun. All right, I know when you mention rules, you immediately think, oh, God, rules, we can do without them. But imagine a world without law. All right, it would be anarchy. It would be chaos. All right, so as a judge, I get to wear a robe. So I'm a branch of government. We heard from our state rep. She's the what branch? Legislator. What am I? Who are we missing today in this session? Executive, okay. So I'm the judiciary. I get to wear a robe. How many other jobs do you know you can wear a robe to work? And I don't work at home, all right? What? All right. Why do judges wear robes? And why are they black? No one knows, because we're bad dressers and we want to cover up our bad outfit? Yeah? Okay, we wear robes because we are neutral. We're supposed to be middle of the road. I don't have any pins on this robe. I don't even have the American flag on this robe. It's black because black symbolizes neutrality, all right? So we wear this as a symbol, not because I'm cold during the workday and I want to wear a robe. It ensures the public, all right, who come before me that I'm not taking sides. My job is to look at the rules, the law, and apply it evenly, all right? Just like a basketball referee, a good one, not the NBA refs, but a basketball referee is neutral. They can't take sides, all right? So the ref relies on evidence, his or her vision of the play. As a judge, I also rely on evidence to make the call. So we talked about the three branches of government briefly, all right? Who makes the laws? Right. Who enforces the law? You're on a roll. Go ahead. Executive. All right. Judiciary, what do I do? So, close. Generally, what? Yes and no. Supreme Court judges, or in our state, Supreme Judicial Court judges do that. I'm a district court judge, so I'm not there yet, let's say, all right? But what all judges do, we interpret the law, because there's going to be disputes. Just like the charge, the block, and the charge, there will be disputes. And those disputes have to come before a court. And I sit at the court. And one side, it's in the criminal session, it's the government, the executive branch, is prosecuting a citizen who is a defendant. All right? They disagree as to, did the person break the law? All right? It is the government's job. They have the burden. They have to prove that the citizen broke the law. All right? So all of you young folks, you're going to high school next year, you're eventually going to possibly, go to college, get a job, whatever. You are going to become parts of this world we live in, that we have laws. And if you break the law, you then have to answer on it, and you might come before someone like me. All right? Rules, though, need to be applied fairly. All right? We talked about 3 branches of government. All right? Does anyone know the one example where the 3 branches are morphed into one? One entity is executive, legislative, and judicial. Anyone know the answer to that riddle? Every day we deal with them in the morning. We come home at night, we deal with them. Parents, right? You guys have rules at house, right? Clean room, take the garbage out. Who makes those rules? The executive, AKA parent. All right? Now, parent goes up to your room. I'm sorry, the legislature parent makes that rule. Legislative parent goes up to your room, opens the door, shrieks because it's a mess. The legislative parent now becomes the enforcer of the rule, the executive branch parent, right? All right. Now it becomes really quick, because that executive parent becomes the judicial parent, renders a sentence, right? 4 weeks without allowance, right? So there's an example of one person doing all 3 jobs. We don't have that in government. And thank God we don't. Because would you really want one person to make the law, and then to go out and enforce the law, and then decide if the law was upheld correctly? Do you want that? No, okay? So this is why we have branches of government, checks and balances. All right, let me give you a quick example of how this comes into play. We all know there's a drug crisis out there. One of the goals that we have out there is to prevent drugs from being sold, illegal drugs from being sold. All right, we have an opioid crisis, we have to deal with it, everyone's on the same page. We also have this thing called the Constitution. You guys have studied the Constitution? All right. We have rights as citizens of this country. All right. One of those rights that we have is to be free from unreasonable search and seizures. All right. We pride ourselves in this country to be able to leave our house in the morning and to go wherever we want. All right, as long as we're not breaking any laws, right? We can't just walk into the White House, all right, for safety reasons. But we like that freedom in this country, all right? So that's important. So remember that on one side. Remember on the other side the fact that we have to combat distribution of drugs, all right? Now there's going to be conflict, and I see it every day in court, where I have people who come before me, they're charged with dealing drugs. And they're arguing, wait a minute, this was illegal, all right? I have the government, the police department, the prosecutors, the executive branch, they're saying, this guy's guilty, he's dealing drugs. Judge, throw him into jail right now. Defendant is saying, I'm innocent, all right? And one of the arguments oftentimes we hear is, I'm innocent because the drugs that were found in my car should not be allowed into evidence because they were received, they were found by the police who violated my constitutional right. And as a punishment, the judge can say to the government, you know what? You found drugs in the car, but you went about it the wrong way, all right? Because you violated the constitutional rights that the defendant has. Let's say you're going to be driving in a couple years. Let's speed up the clock a little bit. You're driving your car, you got Massachusetts plates on it. You call your buddy who has a New Hampshire car. He's going to come down, meet you. You're going to meet parking lot, front parking lot, North Andover Middle School. You show up first, he's not there. You decide, oh shoot, maybe we said the back of the school. You move your car, you go to the back. You sit there for a while, it doesn't show up. Oh shoot, was it the side of the school? You move your car again. A little suspicious looking. And now you park your car on the side of the school. Here comes your friend from New Hampshire. He pulls his car next to you, all right? You get out of your car, you walk over to your buddy's car, you lean in, your hands disappear, you're just talking. All of a sudden, 3 cruisers from North Andover Police Department fly into the parking lot. The police officers get out, they pull you apart, they take, not pull you apart, they take you and put you to one side, they take your friend out of his car, they might handcuff you, they ask you, come on, what are you doing here? What are you guys up to? And you say, well, we're just meeting and talk about things. You got any drugs or whatever? All right. They don't find anything because you guys are all good law-abiding citizens, right? 2 weeks earlier, same police set up surveillance of North Andover Middle School because they got complaints from citizens saying, hey, there's some strange stuff going on in the parking lots. We think drug deals are going on, okay? Police do their job, they set up surveillance. They see a car with Massachusetts plates pull in, goes to the front parking lot. That car then leaves, goes to the back. It then goes to the side parking lot. Now here comes a New Hampshire car, pulls up beside. The Massachusetts guy gets out, goes up to the New Hampshire car window, puts his hands and talks. Cruisers show up, they take the two, they find drugs on both guys. They charge them with distribution and receiving drugs, okay? That sounds eerily similar to what happened maybe to you 2 weeks later, right? You met in the same area, you met a friend with New Hampshire plates, but the police didn't find drugs on you, they found drugs on those other guys, all right? That's an example that might come before me, is that if the police do things without having enough evidence, they can't come and just interrupt your day. They can't stop you. They can't put cuffs on you unless they have reasonable suspicion that you are committing a crime, all right? The earlier example I gave you with the two, not you guys in the cars, but the bad guys, the drug guys, here's some evidence that comes before me. Hey, judge, we knew one of the two guys, he's been arrested 10 times for drug distribution. Hey judge, the New Hampshire car, that's been under surveillance and has been involved in 3 previous drug cases. Hey judge, we got 25 calls from citizens saying they've seen drug activity at North Andover Middle School parking lot. And one of the officers saw drugs sticking out of the guy's pocket. That justifies, there you have all this evidence which would lead a reasonable person to say the police had the right to stop those two guys. But in the example where you and your friend from New Hampshire are involved, same sort of actions, but the police didn't have all that other information about, they don't know you, they don't know your friend, there's been no calls about drug activity in North Andover Middle School parking lot. There they've overreached things, okay? So if you, in that situation, the police, although they're trying to do their job, they have to have more evidence of illegal activity, okay? So stuff like that comes before me, and I have to filter and decide, did the police overstep their boundaries, or did they not violate a person's constitutional rights? So that's an example of what I do every day, all right? So it's 10 after, is that it? Are you guys leaving 10 after? All right, any quick questions about the judiciary? No? How long have I been? I've been a judge for almost 13 years. Okay. Yes. How much? How much is this? How much you want to give me for it? How much you willing to pay me for it? A penny. You're probably right. This is actually. You know what? So it's 100% polyester. So I can like mold it, whip it across the room, and it stays in its original form. I do think, though, anyone want to take a guess how much this cost?
7 cents.
No, $125. What? I know, $125. Does it what? Bonus what? The question is, does the robe give me magical powers, like more intellect? Maybe some of my colleagues think that way, but I can tell you, no, it doesn't. You know what it does, though, again, it goes back to that original thing about symbolism. And this, you know, we don't have a lot of symbolism in this country, but this is one where, you know, I think it really hits home that you should be comfortable when you go into a courtroom that the judge is a neutral official, all right, and that's why we wear that. Anything else quickly? Wait, let's. Cool benefits of being a judge. I get to sit on a bench that is similar to this, that's higher than other people. So I can look out and see everyone. The problem with that, though, is that everyone's looking at me, and if I didn't brush my teeth, or a lot of times my pen leaks, and I might go like this, and I get pen on my face, now everyone sees that. So it kind of counterbalances each other. But benefits, you know, let me put it this way. It is an extreme honor and privilege to be a judge, because the governor who appointed me and the governor's council, who had faith in me, realized that they're putting me in a position where I have an incredible amount of responsibility and power. And so every day when I put this polyester robe on, I realize I got to do a good job. Do I get free coffee? I don't. I don't get anything free, and because that would not be right. Yeah. So I was a lawyer. So in Massachusetts, you have to be a lawyer first. And I was a prosecutor for about 20 years. I worked in Boston. And then you just apply. And I was appointed by Governor Romney.
One more question.
One more question. The man in the orange shirt. We are appointed, we're not elected, so I'm appointed for until I turn 70 years of age, which is 14 years from now. All right.
Can you guys give all the speakers a round of applause?
Thank you.